Before the 2008 Olympic Games, China pledged to improve its human rights record. But the Communist Party reversed course, intensifying repression.
They realized they had gotten everything that they wanted, which was the approval of other countries.
More than a decade later, the situation is so bad there that China expert and author Gordon Chang says it's hard to fully conceive.
China's crimes against humanity, including genocide, are comparable to what the Third Reich did prior to the mass exterminations that began in 1941. These are atrocities that the world has not seen for decades.
There's over 1 million Muslim Uyghurs in concentration camps as we speak. The women are partitioned off when they get there and forced into forced abortions, forced sterilization, mass rape campaigns. It's horrific and disgusting. Add that to what's happened in the complete erasure over years of the Tibetan Buddhist culture. The Chinese Communist Party is in an absolute war with any type of religious liberty.
Several lawmakers, including Representative Mike Waltz, have pushed the International Olympic Committee for years to move the upcoming Games out of China. Seeing little to no progress, they're now calling for a boycott.
I just can't imagine seeing the American flag flying there because essentially to President Xi, who's a dictator, it'll be the entire world shrugging their shoulders, turning a blind eye, and saying essentially, tacitly, all of that is okay.
Waltz points to the past when we should have boycotted a host country and didn't.
1936 in Germany. People forget that Russia invaded Crimea just months after the 2014 Sochi Games. We've seen time after time that dictatorships are emboldened when the world turns a blind eye.
At a recent event dubbed the Genocide Games Rally, speakers representing China's persecuted people groups criticized rewarding the communist regime for its atrocities.
During my stay in the concentration camp, I was beaten, injured, and tortured by unbelievable methods. Here, I would call all the governments and athletes and our organization to boycott 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics.
Chang says it's also important for athletes to truly understand what they risk by competing in China, from surveillance.
This is a state that is determined to learn everything about anyone who is on Chinese soil,
to actually having their DNA collected.
China has a relentlessly determined effort to take the DNA of foreigners. This is ominous. We know that the Chinese military is working on new pathogens. They call it a new type of biological warfare of, quote, specific ethnic genetic attacks. In other words, pathogens that will leave the Chinese immune but sicken everybody else.
As of now, the White House isn't supporting a boycott or responding to safety concerns regarding our athletes. European nations are planning a diplomatic boycott, meaning their leaders would not attend, but companies and athletes would still participate. Andrew?
Wow, Caitlin, 12 years later after this issue was initially raised, and here we are and things are worse. So does the public support this boycott, and are most Americans even aware of what's going on with these human rights abuses?
Actually, yes. So according to an Axios poll released over the weekend, nearly half of Americans say China should not be allowed to host the Winter Games, specifically because of its record of human rights abuses. Now, older Americans are definitely driving that opposition, but politically, there's not a huge partisan gap. Democrats and Republicans alike are against this.
Caitlin, is seeing a surge of COVID infections and the games will be held in the dead of winter, isn't that a huge concern for everyone?
It is. So Beijing recently canceled all indoor events for the remainder of August. And we're seeing some of the zero tolerance restrictions being re-implemented across mainland China. Airports are closing, entire cities are being shut down, and mandatory mass testing is taking place in some areas. So the Winter Games are scheduled for February, which is when China saw its largest spike in cases back in 2020. So figuring out how to prevent transmission is going to be a huge priority.
So some big decisions coming up for the Olympic Committee. Caitlin, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You can get all the latest news and more when you download the CBN News Channel app. We encourage you to do so.
Hello, I'm Gordon Robertson. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more encouraging videos like this one. Welcome to the 700 Club Interactive family, and God bless you.